Just imagine, you dug out the soil or clay and made a pot out of it, and you could hold water in it by burning it. What a miraculous invention was that! Consciousness is not bound by anything. It is the ultimate motherboard of the existence. So can I make the machine conscious? If you dissolve your physical form, if you dissolve your psychological form, if you dissolve your emotional and energy forms, you have become consciousness.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I have a fundamental question for you. Can consciousness be computer programmed? And can machines have consciousness? I understand, following your videos and books, that objects can be created by certain techniques to form a yantra. Can this process be written in programming language?
Can I consecrate something by writing Java? Well, a whole lot of things happened to me when I was writing a Java. But the Java language or whatever other languages that are there, I am not conversant with them. Will they allow you to write? See, let's understand this. Consecration and consciousness, let's separate these two. Because consecration is a certain way of investing energy either upon a form or a space or a human being. Investing a certain amount of energy so that it'll function at a certain level. Right now, you can dig the planet and dig out some copper and make a vessel out of it. This is very important. If you want to drink water, this is very important, you need a vessel. I want you to just imagine those times when they had not yet made pots in the world. Earthen pots were not there. Just imagine, you want some water. There is no tumbler, there is no pot, there is no tank. Every time you need water, you have to go to the source of the water, river, pond, lake, whatever. This is why whole civilizations always developed around riverbanks. Every civilization happened only around riverbank because every day, well, if you want to drink water, you go to the river, you want to wash clothes, you go to the river, you want to shit in the morning, you go to the river. Want to wash your animals, you go to the river. Because there were largely no containers. To start with, there was no container at all. Just imagine, you dug out the soil or clay and made a pot out of it, and you could hold water in it by burning it. What a miraculous invention was that! Even now, if you excavate any ancient site, one thing that you will find is pots, or either full or broken or whatever, earthen pots, burnt pots, which were vital technology, I want you to understand. More important than your spacecraft, I want you to understand this. Because if there is no container to hold water or food or anything, just imagine all you have is your two hands. How severe it is. Or we have to break your skull like Shiva, use the skull as a eating plate and water drinking cup, huh? So, earthen pot is a fantastic technology which changed human life dramatically. I'm sure at that time, people would have really thought there is nothing better that anybody can ever invent. an earthen pot. But today we dig the same soil, out of which you make a computer, you make a spacecraft, you traveling somewhere, out of this space, out of this atmosphere. With what? With the same things that you dug out and made a pot. So, the same substance you're investing in with a higher possibility. So this is consecration in a way. Well, that's being done mechanically there, but when you do it energy-wise, when the same substance can function at a higher possibility, now we say it's consecrated because it's invested with a certain amount of energy. Is an electronic board completely just physical? You know it is not. There's a little bit of… it's an energy play which is making things happen. When it works in a specific manner, the way we want, then it becomes a board or a chip or whatever you want to call it. How exactly it works, you don't know, but you know how to use it. Similar is the nature of consecration. We invested a certain energy for a certain purpose, to function in a certain way, so that that same substance can function at a higher level. This is true even with your body. At least in this lockdown period, if you are investing your time in the morning to do your Surya Kriya or Shakti or Namaskara, whatever, asanas, whatever else, you see within a few days or a couple of weeks, you can distinctly see that this same flesh and bone functions at a higher level. In a way, it's consecrating. If you want to look at it just as a definition, in a way you're consecrating the body to function at a higher level. Same solar energy, now you're transforming it into a higher level of function. So consecration is a certain investment of energy, let us say in a certain form, so that that form will function at a higher level. Consciousness is a completely different matter. We've already gone through this when I spoke in the beginning. Everything that you know has a boundary. Body, psychological space, emotional space, energy space, everything has a limited boundary. Consciousness is not bound by anything. It is the ultimate motherboard of the existence. So can I make the machine conscious? It's a ridiculous thing, even you cannot become conscious, I want you to understand, not in the usual… See, the word conscious being used in so many different ways, it's confusing, but let me tell you, there is consciousness. If you dissolve your physical form, if you dissolve your psychological form, if you dissolve your emotional and energy forms, you have become consciousness. Not that you became conscious in the sense that you possess consciousness. No, you have become consciousness. Like if we bury you, you become soil, you become the earth. Just like that, if we dissolve you, you have become conscious. You can neither generate consciousness within this or in any of your electronic stuff. It's a completely misunderstanding. I know these debates are going everywhere in the world, I've been to various conferences, endlessly they're talking about it. Only thing is, everybody is invested in their idea. An idea means it's a limited possibility. In that, there is no consciousness. You can talk about it as much as you want, because everybody is free to use the word. Essentially, when we say consciousness, we are talking about the fundamental. Everything else is a pop-up. The galaxy is a pop-up, solar system is a pop-up, planet is a pop-up, you are a pop-up. When human being has the ability to not just be a pop-up, but become the source. When you become that, in some way you dissolve your identity, because your body, your mental structure essentially is because of identity. Just look at it this way. Let's say There are so many incidents and situations that have happened in your life. Only those situations that you identify with, either by liking or disliking it, right now they are a part of you. Those situations that you neither liked nor disliked, somehow they're not a part of you. Just see this. So your psychological framework is constantly being built and expanded by what you like, dislike, essentially you're identifying. So only with this body you're identified. I don't have to go into the dirty details, but what is day after tomorrow's food? You still have not seen it. Unless you are that kind who eats out of your refrigerator, it's already there. That's a terrible way to live, I'm telling you. So if you have not seen day after tomorrow's food, but when day after tomorrow comes and becomes today, that which you have not seen becomes a part of you. But what happened to yesterday's food? Flushed down the toilet, most of it. So, only what you identify with right now, this is you. You are not going to go in search of all the shit that you flushed and say, that's me, that's me, that's me, because it's been you at some point, but you don't identify with it, so it's not you. So you need to understand what is me, what is not me in your experience is a made-up reality that you make it up by identifying with it. This is me, this is mine. Whether it is an object or a person or a thing or a property, including your body and your mind, you only feel it's me when you're identified with it. So if you withdrew your identities, then you dissolve. Not that your body will melt away, it's still sitting here, but because you've withdrawn your identity, it has dissolved from your experience. Now your consciousness, because that is the basis of your existence. Now, can I create consciousness? Can I invest consciousness? This is all rubbish. You can invest energy and make something work better. That's a different matter. Making anything work better, in my you may find this little extreme, even if you create a god, even if you create a deity of the highest possibility, still it's a survival process. You're looking how to survive better, or maybe you want to thrive better. Thriving is also survival. To thrive means you're surviving better than others, that's all thriving is. So, even your God, your religion, your whole heaven means what? You're surviving better than others, though you're dead. Though you die, you survive better than others. That's going to heaven, isn't it? So all this is just survival. This is why continuously from day one when you came to the introductory, I've been talking about, if you distance yourself from the instinct of survival, something else will happen to you. Whether you're in an ashram or in a temple or in heaven, you're still trying to survive. When you are not identified with your own survival, why all these brahmacharis are sitting there is, in a way, striving to move away from survival process. If you move away from your survival process, or you can only move away from your survival process when you are no more identified with your physical self, with your psychological self, with your emotional self, with your energy self and your chemical self, you are not identified with these things. That is when you have moved away from your survival process. The moment you move away from your survival process, you are consciousness. There is simply no other way to be. So you think you can do it on a machine? I'm telling you, you cannot even do it on this, it's there, you are on it. But you are right now existing as a pop-up. If you dissolve this bubble, you are consciousness. Not that you become conscious, you are consciousness if you dissolve the bubble. But right now, you are engaged with the bubble so much, and your bubble is prettier than the other bubbles. your bubble is stronger than the other bubbles, in this it will go on drama, bubble, bubble, bubble. And when two bubbles get together and go, marriage. So it once happened, a young man who wanted to get married came to his father and asked, "Father, what does it cost to get married?" The father, who was in his 50s, said, "My son, I do not know because I'm still paying." Please, wherever you are, particularly if you are in India and United States, how conscious you are, how responsible you are, will determine the nature of the world. Please let's make it happen. Let's make this happen, a better world. A better world is only with a better human being, there is no other way. And a better human being is a consequence of being a responsible human being.